and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and today's video is another 5 things to expect video. Crystal Palace play Manchester United on Thursday, and today's video is 5 things to expect from Crystal Palace versus Manchester United, where I talk about predicted lineup, things I expect to see from Manchester United, things Manchester United need to watch out for, and more like predicted scoreline. Obviously, we've dropped points to Southampton. The way we dropped points to Southampton wasn't nice. Last kick of the game, silly corner, silly goal to concede. So going into this Palace game is even more important. Obviously, all our games are must-wins, but I feel like we have to win our 3 remaining games. You know, we have to keep the pressure up. We missed out on a brilliant chance to go third. If we want top 4, we've got to win this game. All our games are must-win from now on. And I think out of our remaining games, I do think Palace will be the easiest. Not to disregard Palace, but they've got nothing to play for, and with Crystal Palace, they're one of those teams where they go through like a period where they're really good and like you don't want to play them for a couple of months, and then they go for a period where they're really shit. Or is that just me? Like, they go through good periods and bad periods. But anyway, let's get straight into the video. 5 things to expect versus Crystal Palace. Hit that like button, subscribe down below, share this video, and first things first, I'm going to start up with my predicted lineup. My predicted lineup, I'm going to say it's going to be unchanged. So this is the lineup we've been going with for the last couple of weeks. The last 5 games we've started with this lineup. Now this is our strongest lineup. This is the lineup I expect to see if everyone is all fit, because there's some question marks over Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams. We haven't got an update on the Luke Shaw, Brandon Williams injury crisis, but Brandon Williams hit his head, got like a bit of a gouge. Will he be okay to head the ball? Who really knows? Luke Shaw rolled his ankle. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but our game's in 2 days, so it's like maybe if it was a week you'd expect one of them to be back and fine, but it is 2 days. So that puts question marks of who can play left back. Now I'm hoping that either Luke Shaw or Brandon Williams, one of them is fit to play left back, but if they're not, our options at left back are Delo, he can play left back, Ted Mengi, we can put him on the left, because Delo, Ted Mengi and Fusu Mensah, they can all play right back. Obviously I don't know what Fusu Mensah's injury thing is right now. I don't know if he's injured or not. Who really knows that, and who cares about Fusu Mensah? But Ethan Laird and Delo, I could probably see maybe one of them going in at left back. Tuanzebe, I'm not sure what's going on with the Tuanzebe injury crisis, but I know he has played at left back and right back before, even though he's a centre back. But I do think if Williams and Shaw is injured, it will be Delo, if not Laird playing left back. But hopefully that won't happen. That is my predicted lineup. I think that's the lineup we'll see. I think that Greenwood will play. I know he was a bit quiet in the last game, but I think we're saving Dan James for the Chelsea game in the FA Cup, because Chelsea's defence is a bit rocky. They'll go with space to run into behind. Dan James is perfect for the Chelsea game. The second thing I expect to see is Rashford to put in a good performance. Now, I think Rashford's looked really good in his last 2 games. Yes, he missed a chance yesterday, but I think Rashford has been one of our best players over the last 2 games. He obviously got a goal yesterday. He's got like 2 or 3 offside goals disallowed since the restart, so he's been in the right areas, making the right runs. He's obviously created chances, and I think Rashford's looked really good on the ball, because when we first came back from the break, from the coronavirus break, Rashford looked a little bit not sharp, a little bit leggy. His finishing wasn't sharp. He missed some good chances. But I think right now he's got a goal in him. He looks quite bright. He looks like he's going to score a lot more. And I think this is going to be really important, because I think the last 2 games we've had our Rashford back. I think the first few games of the break Rashford was quite slow, but I think the last 2 games Rashford's looked like a threat. And I think this is going to be really big in the Palace game, because Rashford's such a crucial player for us. And when Rashford turns up, he gets goals. Martial's been turning up all season. Greenwood's been turning up quite a lot. Rashford's turned up most of the season. He had a little bit of a dip because of, he just come back from a long-term injury. But I think Marcus Rashford's going to turn up then against Crystal Palace. He looks like he's fully recovered from his injury. He looks sharp. He looks match fit. And I think that's really important, because I think a good Marcus Rashford makes it a good day in attack. And, I could be wrong, but I can see Marcus Rashford getting on the score sheet, and I think Marcus Rashford will put in a good performance, which will be really helpful for us. So I think we need to look out for Marcus Rashford. I think he's the player to watch. Crystal Palace. Now I'm going to talk about Crystal Palace. They've just lost to Aston Villa. They were looking really good before the restart, and then the first game of the restart they looked good, and then they got that 4-0 thumping by Liverpool, and they've just sort of gone downhill. Now for me, Crystal Palace is one of those teams where it depends when you play them. If you don't want to play them when they're playing well, because they are a hit and miss team. They look really good for a bit and then really poor for a bit. And I think Crystal Palace has been quite poor lately, and I think it's a good time to play Crystal Palace. Obviously we lost to them the first time we played them at Old Trafford. We're going to Selhurst Park, and I can see us winning this game. Obviously with the Southampton game I said we'd win because I'm always going to back Manchester United to win with the way we're playing with the team we've got, but I always said that Southampton, it could be a difficult game, they could surprise us. I think this will be easier than the Southampton game, not to disrespect Crystal Palace in any kind of way, but I feel like even though Southampton had nothing to play for, they worked really, really hard. I feel like Crystal Palace has sort of admitted their season's over in a way, and I just think it's a good time to play Crystal Palace. I think they're not on their best form, they've got nothing really to play for. I think basically, to conclude, I think we're playing Crystal Palace at the right time. But again, Crystal Palace are a well organised team like Southampton, and I feel Southampton being so well organised caught us out a little bit, and I think we really need Pogba and Bruno to show up against Crystal Palace, because if Pogba and Bruno don't show up, it's going to be a hard game because they're very well organised, and I think a lot of the game could depend on Pogba and Bruno showing up. Now the fourth thing I expect to see is Manchester United to start fast. In Manchester United's last 2 games we started pretty slow. The Aston Villa game we didn't get going till after the water break, and obviously again we didn't get going to the 20th minute versus Southampton when we went 1-0 down. Now I think Gunnar Solskjaer's noticed that we started 2 games very slowly, looking like we're not getting out of second gear, and he's probably going to say to the guys, I need you to do some quick tempo passing, get into the game, play right, fast, energetic. And I think we will start fast this game, because the last 2 games we haven't started well, we started quite slow. And I think Gunnar Solskjaer's noticed that. You know, his comments after the match against Southampton, you can tell he's noticed a lot of things. And I think Gunnar Solskjaer's noticed that we've been starting slow lately, and I think he's going to get them running from the get-go. Because I don't think we've really got out of second gear our last 2 games. And I think we just need that kick up the arse. Maybe the draw's giving us that kick up the arse to work quick, play fast, kind of football. So I do think that Manchester United will start fast, and I do expect to see a first half goal from Manchester United. The fifth thing I expect to see is momentum. Yes, we dropped points to Southampton, so there's a lot of questions of, oh, we're just going to go downhill from now on. But no, we're 18 games unbeaten. We dropped points to Spurs. Kind of similar situation to when we dropped points to Southampton. But we're 18 games unbeaten, we still have momentum going. The reason we dropped points is because Bruno and Pogba had a bit of an off game. Yes, Bruno got an assist, but he had a bit of an off game. And if you don't have Bruno and Pogba in the game, we're screwed, because you take Bruno and Pogba off, you can only put Fred and McTominay. We don't have a Grealish off the bench to put on. I think that was Manchester United's biggest problem yesterday, is because you take Bruno and Pogba off, you've got no one to put on to add creativity. So if Bruno and Pogba don't show up, we're kind of screwed. And obviously Bruno and Pogba aren't the kind of players to not show up for 2 games in a row, but I think we have that momentum. You know, I think Bruno and Pogba will show up versus Crystal Palace. We have that momentum to keep going. We're unbeaten. It's not like we've lost and we've got to start that momentum again. We're still 18 games unbeaten. We know our best 11, and I think this is going to be really important for Manchester United, because we don't look like losing because of our momentum, because of the way we're playing. And people worry because we drop points against Southampton if that's going to stop our momentum. But as Gunnar Solskjaer said, it's all part of the learning process. Manchester United have this momentum, they have this confidence, they're going to keep going. Crystal Palace, they're lacking confidence right now. They've just lost to relegation Villa, whereas Manchester United, we're one of the most confident teams in the league right now. We're scoring the most goals. And I think going into the Crystal Palace game, I think Manchester United are going to win 2-0 and keep a clean sheet. That's my prediction. But let me know your predictions for Crystal Palace versus Manchester United in the comment section down below. I think Crystal Palace are a good side. When they show up, they're a really good side. I think they're a little inconsistent, but we do need to watch out for them. But I do think that Manchester United will win this game, because just all the way things are going right now, it looks in our favour. We beat Villa, they lose to Villa. I just think it's going to be one of those kind of games. Anyway, that's my 5 things to expect versus Crystal Palace. Let me know anything you expect to see that I've missed in the comment section down below. And if you have not already, please smash that like button, subscribe down below, share this video with your friends, comment your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.